The following program contains words. If you are offended by words, remember that there is a better podcast.
I thought we were just going from the cuff.
I thought we were going to discuss these things.
You know, I did hear that in like podcasts when you get going, like the average listener listens like the first minute or so of the podcast, then it dramatically drops off of that. We don't even get to our intro to the first minute of it because we have all this pre-recorded crap.
Call it what it is.
I didn't want to swear this early to it.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I'll break into it. Of course I will.
I hope so. You break into it as much as you break into song and dance. All you want to do, man. You do you.
So I just
and then
realized
you can do me right
glasses
after.
on.
I don't.
Yeah, kind of threw me off.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm trying to remember what was different between this time, except for we're noticeably more sober.
One of us is.
We'll talk about that during the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, guess what?
What?
It's time to hit him with the intro.
Oh my God! I thought you said we weren't doing that.
Oh, are we not doing that? Are we not doing that now?
Did it actually play the music?
I have no idea what's going on.
We were falling apart.
It's already. It feels like it's our first day back from like summer vacation or something like that.
Get back on the grind. I normally hear the night court stuff.
Yeah. Let's get that night court going on.
Oh, jeez. So it was a subtle back settle. That was like the longest human entry.
It really didn't need to be that long.
Nobody's ever said that.
But maybe we're...
Whoa, I got you speechless. Wow. You know, since this came out, we've actually got feedback from the podcast.
Yeah?
And
people feedback about this thing?
It's actually been overwhelmingly positive. I was kind of surprised by that. One thing that I did notice they said they can never tell our voices apart. Apart. Michael. This is Michael.
This is also Michael.
See, this is why we can never figure things out.
Yeah, this is why we're top of the charts already. We've only had one true episode, and already we're like up at the top. Welcome to this There Is a Better podcast. My name's Michael, and over there,
and I'm Tony.
Oh shit!
I'm actually Michael.
He is Michael. I am Tony. Tonicus Maximus Minimalist.
Mixmaster Mike.
Mixmaster Mike. Tiki Tone. You called me Tiki Tone at one point.
I can call you whatever I want to call you.
But don't call me late for dinner.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, well, then you totally set me up for that. And set me up for failure, and it was a success. I need a beer.
Crack it. I already did. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead of you.
Yeah, you did. How dare you?
You know,
Party foul.
What are we? We are, what is this? This is There Is a Better podcast. Can't even remember my own podcast name there. That was cute. I can't even hear myself in the headphones. That's weird.
I know. I can't either. I don't know what's going on.
It's a podcast in limbo today.
How about that? Is that better?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Well, can you hear you?
No. Didn't we do this last time?
Maybe. Keep going. Just keep talking.
We'll just go with it. So we are a variety show. That was one of the things that we heard back from people was
if they wanted a nonprofit organization.
No, that they're like,
I think we can.
What are you guys? And like, I couldn't reply back to them because I can't give them what they want and need. That's why There Is a Better podcast.
Couldn't reply or wouldn't reply.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
we're a little bit of everything. We have aspects of entertainment. I have a movie review that we're going to do during the segment at some point.
Good.
We do pop culture references. By the way,
the
last couple of episodes, we did a lot of references to pop stars and like pop music, which is kind of ironic because neither one of us are really into that, but we know enough about pop culture to be relevant. I have 3 boys, so I try to stay up with the newest things.
I can tell because like yeah, you have that connection to things that are current. I, on the other hand, don't have any boys. I have 2 nephews. That's about as close as it gets for me. And like I love my nephews. I don't hang out with them as much as I probably could, but that also means that I, have to like get out of the house and like make something of myself. I can't do that right now.
And COVID make you stay inside?
Yes, exactly. COVID Mickey stays inside. Is that what you said?
COVID stay. I saw somebody like this was wearing at a church today. It said,
"You're an idiot."
They said that to me too, but it said, I don't remember what it said. I give up. But our podcast is literally whatever comes to mind.
Fail.
We did. You're gonna have too much fun with that board over there. I can tell that it's gonna be dangerous.
It's already
but
over.
It's whatever we want to do on a weekly basis. We're gonna I'm gonna try to have a movie review for every episode that we do. I'm gonna try. I do want to do some true crime stuff. There's plenty of other podcasts
we
that
do that. Yeah, there's a lot of other.
I have one that I'm
podcasts
particularly that like kind of got me into the genre, but I just don't want to be another podcast that there's thousands of those out there. Well, probably hundreds of them out there, but I still enjoy that element, and I do love talking true crime. So yeah, I'm gonna do it from time to time. But literally, oh my god,
Oh, by the way,
that was the soundboard.
Yes.
Way to go.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Which one? Speaking of, yes, and that was also brought up too by some listeners. This actually was a common theme with the listeners that they said that part of what made us unique is that they would we hear us talking and we couldn't figure out who was starring in Money Pit with like Tom Hanks.
Oh.
And we sat there and tried to figure it out for a while that we need like somebody over there on the computer just like basically saying Googling searching for this, but these people were actually like, oh my god, they went to their computers trying to figure it out and like tried to talk to us like they're I'm like, that was actually a form of compliment to me. I loved that.
It was breaking the fourth wall.
But I think like when we get to that point of having somebody else on the computer like Googling us up, like whenever we say something stupid, which should be about every 5 seconds, they play that saying you're an idiot, then they correct us. Okay, why am I an idiot?
That one's a little bit too long.
That was a long one.
That was a really long one. Sorry.
Giggity. So that would be great is that if they were sitting over there actually just calling us out on like Googling some of the stuff that we could, for whatever reason, fumbling over and can't figure out who starred with it.
You know what? I think it's a great great thing that you point out. And you know what that means? That means that we get to hire somebody.
Hello, unpaid internship.
Exactly.
We get to hire for somebody for free. So hey, you know what? We could provide beer if you're legal age.
If you're of legal age, right?
We'll provide beer.
Winning.
We could provide sarcastic wit and
Doritos. Doritos is another thing too.
We could provide that.
Actually, I take that back. We can't afford Doritos. We have to go with the Doritos.
Doritos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually is something I really think we should look into at some point. Speaking of social media and whatnot, you can find us on Twitter. Our Twitter's kind of growing.
Yeah, it is growing. We keep putting out more tweets, so therefore it is growing. The more we put out there, the more it grows.
There's a Better Podcast at Twitter, or you can email us at
thereisabetterpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. You know what? Actually, speaking of that, when we get our first email, the first legit email, just calling into the show or just writing
one yet?
No. Well, I think this is the first one that actually came out with an actual real name to the podcast and all that. By the time this comes out, this would have been like a week or so later. So nobody knows about it yet.
Right.
So I think I'm going to be so overjoyed. Right now it's all like other podcasters emailing us about like sound bits and stuff like that. From like somebody that listened to it and giving us feedback on it. It's probably, I'm going to be so overjoyed when I see it because it's going to be on my phone. I click on it and it's going to be so mean and outlandish and it's going to be so terrible. And I'm like, oh, like it's going to go like those ebbs and flows. I go up really high, then I come down really low. Then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, we got a first email. I'm going to go through the roof again. I'm like, this is amazing. So feel free to throw nonsense at us at our Gmail, our Twitter.
Please do. That's what we're here for. We're here for nonsense. And what's the opposite of nonsense? I don't know.
Smart, competitive banter?
Sure. I mean, yes.
Epic fail.
Well, I do hope for it. Even I actually want to touch on that as far as the email goes. We said we want to do an advice segment and all that, and given how long it takes us to record each one, or when we can get together because we live a little ways apart and have busy lives, that we could still do that. But what I want to challenge our listeners to, if we can, is we started this basically off of me nagging you for a long time.
Yes. What else is new?
To cross something off my bucket list.
Okay.
So what if we not inspired, what if somebody else had something that they crossed off their bucket list, something that they always wanted to do? What if they wrote into us and told us what it was, how it felt? Did it go the way that they planned? Was it everything that they wanted? Or did it go a little sideways on them? And what was the end result for it? I challenge somebody to write in, like, we don't have to use your real name if you don't want to. If you don't want us to say your name, we won't. Write us in there. We'll read it on live. And I'd love to, like, not even, like, proofread these and just kind of read it.
Yeah.
And just get our live reactions to it. And they're like, oh, my God, that's amazing. Or that really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Whose life is more of a living hell than ours? That's the name of the game.
I think it'd be kind of a cool segment, and I think we should do that. And there's not as like a time constraint to it.
No. Just email us. There is a better podcast at gmail.com. Be as detailed as you want or not as detailed as you want. Of course, the more the better. We'll make sure that we keep you as a anonymous. That was the word I was looking for.
See, this is where that person over there would have been. Already had the button there. You're an idiot. The word's anonymous. Shut up and move on.
Do. Anonymous. Yeah.
Hey, so I also got, like, from a friend of mine replied to our email, to our messages, and he was texting me, and he says, "Are you guys worried about cancel culture?" And I said, "No, why?" He's like, "Well, right now we live in a cancel culture society right now, and everything's getting canceled left or right." Mm-hmm. Here are my thoughts. Who cares? Like, we're so small. Like, nobody cares what we say. Nobody cares what we do.
Nobody cares who we are.
And more importantly, I consider us two good-natured guys that if we screwed up,
now you're just going too far.
Deep down, that we're two good-natured guys that if we did something wrong or said something like totally outlandish and wrong, I think one, we would catch ourselves and like, that bit was out of line. We shouldn't have done that. And we'd probably call ourselves out about it.
Sure.
Or like if we didn't even know he did it, somebody else reaches out to us like, I have no problem saying, "Yep,
right,
that was."
We're not too
heartless.
Proud.
No,
we are not too proud. We're not proud at all. In fact, we are probably like the least. We are the meekest of the meek, and I guess
you are one pathetic loser.
Well, I believe that's two pathetic losers, but yeah.
You are one pathetic loser.
You got to play it twice.
Yeah, I got to play it twice, right.
Add them up. But I have no worries about that. I have strong feelings about cancel culture, and right now you can't cancel everything on both sides. I get we live in a very political society. I don't want to go into politics right now.
I think cancel culture works best when you're in algebra. Because you have to cancel out both sides of the equation by the reciprocal of the numerical coefficient of the variable.
Did you just throw that randomly out there?
For the love of God, that has been in my mind for years, and I'm going to go ahead and give myself a point for that.
I don't even know if I could solve a algebraic equation right now. I just said algebraic.
Yeah, you did. Congratulations.
That's the only time I'm going to get any words right on.
Wait a minute. We have to stop the show. Mike, you just came up with a big word.
Yes, the only time that's going to ever happen.
I got to stop playing with this board. This is actually too fun. That's going to be like half the show
for
me.
Play with it right now.
What?
Play more with it. Touch it. Touch it. That one's too long.
You just told me to play with it, and then you're like, that's too long.
Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up what happened from the last time we recorded.
Okay.
There is an episode that's going to be buried for a while.
And this is why we're talking about cancel culture.
Because I canceled you.
You canceled me, and
we canceled ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't I don't want to say terrible, because I haven't actually heard it all the way through yet.
You're not missing anything. There was a point in there, I think, where we had about 10 minutes of dead air.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh. Well,
I think it was a time that you went running upstairs. And
is that in that episode?
You went upstairs and you went to go get a beer, and so I was starting to tell people about a bridge. Or maybe that was the other episode. I don't remember.
I think that was the one that just came out today, actually.
Oh. Well, no, today's this episode. You mean last week?
Last week, yeah.
Last week.
That's going to get really confusing. I can't see you shaking your head. Yes, Emmy.
I'm glaring at you, Mike.
Glare away, friend. Glare away.
You got it.
It's good to see you.
Shut up.
Okay.
It's good to see you too. Good to see you too.
I forgot.
I almost didn't let you in the house because of cancel culture, to be honest.
It did get brought up. Like, I guess everybody's worried about it. I have no worries about that because unless you're being really freaking stupid, then you don't have things to worry about. Stop saying stupid things.
My thing about cancel culture is, like, everything is within context. If you decide to take it out of context, then yes, it can seem like it is insensitive. Mm-hmm. If you put things into context, then it makes sense. Like, some of the movies that are coming back, like Gone with the Wind. Now you have context because they're putting like a disclaimer at the beginning, just describing what the movie was about at the time. Yeah. And so when that's re-released, I don't know if it's out already or if that's coming out or whatever.
Or they remaster them.
Right. So when it is re-released, it will have this kind of I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'll say long enough description about what culture was at that time. And I think by putting it into that frame of reference, that's more like, okay, I understand why this movie was done the way it was, or why the story was done, or why these actors and this plot, subplot, all of these things are the way that they are because of the time that it was done in. And I think context is easily lost because we are in such a we're in a
tumultuous times.
I was going to say 160 character society, but Twitter did open that up a bit more than 160 characters.
Yeah, I think
but basically,
up to 240 now, right?
Sure, 240. So we're a 240 character society. You got to get in, get your point, and get out. But if you get in, get your point, and you don't have context to go with that point, then where does your point live? Does your point live within the context of which you thought about? Or is it in the context of which somebody else interpreted it? And I think there's where the problem, in my opinion, I think that's where it becomes an issue, is when the sender of the message has one intent, the receiver of the message receives it in another way, and therefore you get the headbutting, I guess is the best way I can put that.
Or that one side just doesn't want to listen to the other side anymore.
Right. And it's I believe it's all context. If you put the context out there right up front, then it's more palatable. It's not to say that it's right, because it's not like you can, say something completely off sides and say, well, I put it in this context, because there are lines you can draw. Mm-hmm. But I think when you put it into context, at least it carries more weight to being more acceptable, at least, again, based on the frame of reference in which it is set.
No. I'm with you.
You're an idiot.
No, sorry.
I don't know if that was directed at me or you or both. I'm assuming both. Okay, speaking of Twitter,
I was going to myself actually, but you don't. No, you're fine.
I got a little happy with Twitter this week, with our Twitter for the podcast, where I don't know where or how the hell this came up, but I all of a sudden started thinking about Napoleon's penis. Napoleon, that was a hell of a segue, right? From cancel culture into Napoleon. Hey, they canceled his penis.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Are we like an STD podcast? Did we talk about syphilis at one time too? No, but I think I heard it randomly.
There's a better STD.
There's not.
There's no better STD.
So
they're all fantastic.
Jesus,
gross.
You would know. No. Oh my God. So I think I was randomly listening to something. All of a sudden, I heard something. I couldn't believe it. So I decided to look it up, and I went to the old handy Google, and I searched in.
I usually go to MapQuest whenever I need to search stuff. I don't get a damn thing of what I'm looking for.
I looked up Napoleon's penis because I heard this article that it was severed when he was died.
When he was died, yes.
When he was died.
And
sure enough, somehow it got to the United States. It was on exhibit for a while in the United States in the early 1900s. For some reason, it has spawned so many questions like why, how, why,
and why.
At this point, I guess it got sold to a private auction now, and some family has it on display in their house or something. At this time, that was 100 years ago, well over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
140, 160 years ago. It's got to be like a shriveled up piece of like leather at this point, right?
I understood that it was actually somebody within the family that had his severed member the whole time. Now, I don't know. You've obviously read up more on the story than I have. I'm just reacting to what you're telling me.
Well, no, something's wrong here. We have to find Napoleon's penis. We need to spawn a whole generation of people that go in and search out for Napoleon's instrument, and we need to solve it. Like, why did they even remove it after he died? I heard his physician removed it for some reason.
Was it just to like determine if he had penis envy? Is that what they were looking for? I mean,
oh yeah. Oh, little cock sound, huh?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, and I of course retweeted it because I thought the story was fascinating. Like I like those little weird quirky things. Like why would we ever need Napoleon's penis on display here in the States? And I heard it wasn't preserved well. Well, it's not like I'd go to the museum.
Shriveled up, and it was about like maybe about an inch, is from what I understood. And it was just kind of like you've seen the movie. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank now. Which you'll know this if you continuously listen to the podcast. That happens to me all the time whenever I'm trying to come up with something. But
shrivel up inch of a penis.
Well,
go.
It doesn't matter. Anytime that there's a movie with like zombies or whatever, like you see that they are just completely, their faces are dissolving away. Dissolving. That's yeah. No, it's anyway.
By the way,
let's get on to something else here.
Well, anyways, it wasn't preserved well. I know that fact, and it hasn't been doing very good. I don't know why. I decided to put that on our Twitter, along with apparently I made a new life goal. Maybe even made the bucket list. It's somehow working my way into a Dr. Rick commercial. You familiar with those from Progressive?
From Progressive, yes.
They are so clever. Like they're so clever. Who else reads books about submarines? My dad. Oh,
I love the one where the lady's like holding up the signs like "Live, Laugh, Love," and he like rips it from her hands and just chucks it into the.
They close the commercial with, "This is mine. No cussing, no fussing." He just grabs it from her, throws it in the
chucks it. He's like,
No!
That's exactly what he's like.
I love that. It's so funny commercials, and yeah, the fact that you even like got a response from a couple people, or a couple tweets. I think was there a responding tweet or no? They
like
just
people
clicked
are
on
like
it.
people were just people were clicking on it.
Okay,
like
they're
crazy.
clicking on it and then bypassing it because it doesn't even matter anyway.
Like why is this guy like Dr. Rick?
I don't know.
Hey, I have to tell you inspired me though.
What? Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh. That wasn't a Twix commercial from a long time ago.
Was it a Twix?
I think it was.
Maybe that was.
This is where the imaginary person over there could sit in there and be looking it up.
Hey, intern, that doesn't exist. Help us out here. Give us a hand.
I want to make this happen. I'm going to find somebody.
Can we get an intern for us?
Yes.
And yeah, you know what they call him, an intern, right?
I feel like there's a joke coming here, and I don't know if I'm going to like this.
Well, we were talking about cancel culture earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and just forgo that.
There we go.
Line.
But
there is a frame of reference.
There is a better podcast at gmail.com. I started Bridgerton.
Yes.
I started it. I'm watching it with the wife. Okay. I did make it. I think you only made it past episode 3, right?
I like stopped after episode 3.
5 or something. And
that's when it starts getting better, I heard.
It does get to 50 Shades
steamy.
It's steamy, yeah.
It's steamy, but it's not like...
It's not overwhelming.
Yeah. You're not like going to be watching, Debbie Does Dallas and compare it to Bridgerton and be like, wow, Bridgerton's really, it borders on...
It's emotional porn.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's...
Emo porn.
Emo
We're going down, sugar. Completely gives a whole new meaning.
It crosses those lines. Like it gets some pretty vibrant scenes there, and it has a direction. It's not the worst television. I'll watch anything just to say, 1, I watched it, 2, I got through it, and 3, I never have to watch it again. Or wow, that actually pleasantly surprised me.
Did you get an emo boner?
No, I didn't get it. I enjoyed the writing. Okay. I thought it was a good. Actually, it's inspired me. I think me and you are going to try to do a episode
together. Yes, we're going to watch an episode together.
Our live reads to it, our live reaction on the big old wall there.
Yes.
And maybe what if we use Bridgerton voices the whole time? Your Grace, I yieldeth the floor to you. I bet we make it 10 seconds before like, wow, we were really stupid and we shouldn't do this.
Yeseth, I agreeth to the wholeheartedly, moth thoueth forthwith here, therein.
And I'm spent.
Subsection 3.
We've explored that idea and I realized I was wrong. And also, I've started Schitt's Creek.
Good for you.
I'm still trying to figure out. It's early on in this series, so I'm still trying to I enjoy it. I like the little. I like shows with competitive banter. If I could actually live my life like any show as far as competitive banter, it'd be New Girl. The 3 guys that talk to each other in that.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like I love how quick-witted and. Between have you seen
I've seen a couple episodes of that.
Schmidt, Winston, and Josh Jackson's character. That's name's eluding me. Hello, imaginary intern.
Come here. Get your no. Damn it!
I can't remember his name, but I love competitive banter so much.
Competitive banter, like when I think of competitive banter, actually it's kind of the opposite. Yes, well, there is competitive banter too. Archer. Yes.
Classic one. Sorry, you got me.
I know. Again. I was like right.
You
right
planned that. You said it right when I was swallowing there.
Okay, you got me. You got me. I'm sorry.
I love Archer too. Lana.
Lana.
Look at those big old man hands.
I just love his. First of all, I love H. John Benjamin's voice. It just is like. It makes
it does something to me.
Yeah, it makes his character seem like kind of a dim-witted asshole, but yet his character is like is smart in a way, kind of too smart for his own good, but yet he's a dumbass. He's the smartest dumbass you'll ever know. Kind of like personality, I guess.
He is the smartest dumbass you'll ever know. I still have like a couple of seasons to go to finish it all up, but I enjoyed it. I'm on where they got all the cocaine.
Oh God!
And they were transported back and forth from Texas, I think.
And then Pam was pretty much just like living off of it.
So she made them into cupcakes, didn't she?
Eventually, she just starts like taking it all as straight up directly. Although she gets pretty hot later on for a cartoon character.
Yeah, to be clear, we're not condoning the use of cocaine on this podcast.
Duh. Winning.
No. Well. Nope, I'm not going there.
Yeah. Shut up!
I have actually news for you.
Oh.
We talked about a certain character or certain person that you liked quite a bit.
Yes.
Do you know who I'm referring to in one of our podcasts?
I'm going to say it is Jonathan Davis of Korn.
Not this time.
Oh.
It's in
Janet Jackson.
Not this time as well.
Oh.
Your childhood crush, Full House.
Oh, Jodie Sweetin.
Jodie Sweetin.
Oh, yes.
Jodie Sweetin has a podcast.
She does?
She does. I found
How do I not know? How do you know more about Jodie Sweetin than I do already?
I told you inspired me last time, and I started looking into things.
Well, I should inspire you to do my homework.
I don't think so.
You just did, actually.
Do you need a second to compose yourself? I just said her name. Are you going to be all right?
I'm going to be okay for now.
Okay.
The more that you talk about her.
You do have a big crush on her.
I do.
I think it's like a parenting podcast with a therapist, I believe. I didn't get a chance to listen to
she is a therapist or she works with a therapist?
She co-sponsors or co-hosts with the therapist.
Co-sponsors? And I do understand some about her history, but, so when you say co-sponsors, I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't know about that.
No? Oh, I thought she had some sort of like... I'm not going to say like a Lindsay Lohan phase.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Whenever they're a child star, who doesn't, right? I mean...
I feel bad about child stars actually a lot.
You and I didn't get that opportunity.
No, I just feel like a lot of them are taking advantage of them and it fucks them up for life.
Oh, no. I'm saying about the whole alcoholism thing, about, like completely messing ourselves up. We didn't get that opportunity to be child stars and to like completely derail our entire lives, which is why we're doing it now later in life, being podcast celebrities.
But yeah, we don't even get to the celebrity. We just got the we got celeb. We don't even get the rest of the
celebrity.
We get the C in the word. We just get the C.
Wait, no, that's celebrity.
Lana. Lana.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break.
Yep. Fix our shit and come back.
Regroup ourselves. I don't know what's going on here. We'll be right back. I can't even hit the button right. Come on.
Messages.
All right, we are back. Mike has been dancing during this break here.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
You know, there's been a big release of TV shows lately, and like movies, and they're all coming to direct to stream because a lot of the movie theater industry is
they're still kind of
a lot up in the air.
Yeah.
Although I saw something yesterday that 99% of AMC theaters are now open.
Really?
Which
Were
I
they
had no
doing
idea.
like 50% capacity type of thing?
I didn't look into it that much. I was surprised.
I saw that number. I thought you to do that too.
No, you didn't inspire me to do research. That's why our ghost of an intern, Ghosty, would look into that.
I inspired you to do jack shit.
But it got me thinking about movies in particular and the way forward. What do you feel about it? Like I'm digging these direct releases to streaming.
Yeah.
Like HBO Max and Hulu and all the rest, Netflix and all those.
Yeah, Amazon,
I dig Disney Plus. I dig those a lot. But I still feel like something's amiss. Like I don't want to see the movie theater just go away. I want to see like a dual hybrid of both of these. And I feel like the coronavirus has changed this forever moving forward.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a short run. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like there's going to be the best of both worlds. There's going to be some movies I don't care to see at the movie theater, but I still would like to see them in the streaming release, and I don't want to wait 4 months for it to come out.
No, I completely agree. Like all X-rated movies, I'm fine seeing the comfort of my own home. I don't want to be around people who are watching those movies because...
oh my God.
But I can take this in two different directions. One, it may give an opportunity for a resurgence in a perfect world, or maybe in my own world, which I live in, which is in a perfect world. In a perfect world, a resurgence of drive-in movie theaters. You have the social distancing. You have the family in the car. You can turn on the radio. They have the little broadcast dealio on your FM station. Why not? Why not bring those back? I loved that.
So did I.
Yeah, those are super fun. There are a few of them here in our state.
Yeah.
There are a few of them, in probably in every state.
Yeah.
Just assuming. I don't know
Neither do I.
I don't know statistics.
Who cares?
Statistics on this. I don't really care. But anyway, in our state, there are a few that do exist. And the last time I was there, it was 2011. I want to say it was a double feature, and it was really cool. It was like this whole nostalgic thing. Anyway, I could see that as a resurgence. And that would be really neat for like new, for future generations, new generations, whatever. Generation Z, I think we're up to now.
Who knows?
Generation AA.
Triple A batteries.
I'm waiting for double D.
Oh my God.
So the newest generation, they never had that opportunity, and I think that they would find it pretty interesting.
Yeah,
pretty neat. Like, oh, I get to go out and watch it. I'm like, or maybe they'll just hate it. But back in like the 50s, that was a perfect opportunity to make out, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think once we put the pandemic behind us, I feel like they're going to delete those. It'll probably go back to where it used to be before, but I still think there's something there with dual, like either at the drive-in or a regular movie theater, and streaming online. Like, for example, Zack Snyder just released the director's cut of Justice League.
Oh,
and it's 4 hours long.
Oh,
and I watched it, and I think I'll end up writing a review on it, probably for either our next one or the one after that.
Why would you waste your time on that?
Here's the thing:
was it good?
It was great. Like, it explained some of the backstories of the characters, but you're not going to go sit in a movie theater for 4 hours and watch a film.
No.
But there's a place for this. And now it's inspired a lot of people to want to hear more of the story when it was pronounced dead before. I thought it was phenomenal. And I'm not a DC guy. I enjoy the stories. Sure. I don't mind them, but I'm a Marvel guy through and through. Mm-hmm. I just prefer them, but I still watch the other ones. But this is probably my favorite one.
You are a huge nerd.
Yes, I am. Speaking of which, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Like, you heard Amazon bought like the Lord of the Rings series for like $1 billion or something like that, and they're producing a whole series.
They've got money.
You don't buy something for $1 billion and not invest heavily into the show. It's already in production, I believe. That's coming up here in the next couple of years. Wow. You got the Game of Thrones have 6 spinoffs coming.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And
are
those
they going to be
excited?
any better than the last season of Game of Thrones? Please tell me yes.
Yeah, they ran into a bunch of stuff on that. Like,
they tried to rush it through. They tried to rush production.
But
it was well, we have to cram all this this end of the story into 8 episodes. They could have made 2 more seasons.
I got to tell you, well, people weren't wanting to do it much longer. They were ready to move on to other projects. There was the money that was involved with it was just getting astronomical.
But it's HBO. HBO's got
the money. They could have done it. I have to tell you, I've rewatched all of them recently.
Yeah.
And it was like early on seasons I've seen a couple of times because I rewatch it every now and then.
The first episode was your favorite?
No.
And then after that, it just went down.
No, I had a better appreciation for the final season. Actually, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was a lot better. Kind of like that you did with Dexter. I didn't like the last season, but I came to be okay with it. An
appreciation for it after it was all kind of like the Seinfeld. So, and I know you don't like Seinfeld, but I'm going to go ahead and
plug it. Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of like Seinfeld. Watching the last episode, it was basically like everybody described it as a clip show, and that's exactly what it was, a clip show. Like, oh, let's take a look at our last however many years, 9 seasons, 10 seasons, whatever it was. And it was a clip show, but looking back on it, it made a lot more sense. Like just all the shit that they did, all the, the ignoramus bullshit that they did to each other and to everybody else came back on them like tenfold. And so they had to spend their, the rest of their lives basically together in jail, prison, whatever. And it was a perfectly fitting way to end the show because they're, it's like I'm trying to pull some sort of
connection.
Yes, but I'm just going to go ahead and
You're
say
an idiot.
yeah.
I said it for your soundboard for you.
You're an idiot.
Thank you.
Well, let's circle back to that first thought of the movie.
Shut up!
Of the movie theater. Like they got a whole bunch of things coming out here. The Game of Thrones that I just spoke about. They got Godzilla versus King Kong. I was a huge Godzilla fan growing up.
I love King Kong, especially when you're playing in the arcade games. You just put in a quarter, and then
I believe that's Donkey Kong.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Damn it!
Epic fail.
I like that movie in particular. I think would be a great movie experience. They got Mortal Kombat coming out here pretty quick, the remake, which can't be any worse than the first ones, right? Watch me eat my words when I say that. I
didn't even bother watching those, honestly. The games those were good for me. The games, that's where I stopped it. Once they started making live action, I'm like, you can't.
Well,
can you make a story out of this?
A couple of these movies coming out are going to HBO has bought rights to them, and they're
something that really just boggles my mind is how many fucking Fast and Furious movies that they've made.
Yeah, I quit a long time ago. I think soon as Tokyo Drift came out, I'm like, get the hell out of here.
No Fast, no Furious.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep it a
sounds 35. Like a name of a porno. Well, then you got things like recently came out the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's going to be a whole series. You obviously couldn't turn that into a movie, but I think they're on to something with those. They have movie quality in a series, and they're taking it to a whole new level. I'm enjoying them. I watched WandaVision. I think I'll do reviews of those at some point, but they were unique. They weren't what I was expecting out of them, but they still tell a good story. And that's my thing is like I like to watch movies that one are entertaining or visually just fun to see and entertain, or they get you thinking about something you never thought about before or somebody else's perspective, or they make you think and reflect on your own life and things that you did. Yeah. Or just you can live in a fantasy world of like hobbits and Marvel and DC and stuff like that, and who doesn't want to be their superhero of their own life?
You're not my superhero visor.
You're not my God, can we get that on the soundboard? You're not my supervisor. Every time I like, no, can we switch back? Let's circle back. You're not my supervisor. How dare you try to?
I got this one.
You ugly, and you're ugly, and your mother ugly, and your sister ugly. You just plain old ugly.
Is that close enough?
Is that Donkey from Shrek? It sure sounds
that
like
might be.
I think it is.
That might be
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Well,
did you watch him when he came on to Saturday Night Live?
No.
Again, oh my God, it's so
you know what?
Please do yourself a favor and watch that one.
And uninstall.
So good.
No, I always wanted to see like what is it? Eddie Murphy's Raw. Like I don't know.
You haven't seen that yet?
I've never seen it.
Oh
like
wow.
It was.
Do yourself a favor and watch that too. That Delirious and Raw are just absolutely like genius. They're brilliance in comedy, and it's funny. Like Bill Cosby had so all of the Bill Cosby-ness aside, let's just take him as a comedian. Yeah. His whole thing was like family-oriented comedy, and it was clean, and it was non-offensive and all that good stuff. Just the comedy, again, just the comedy, purely stand-up.
Not any other bullshit.
Not any other stuff that goes along with it,
which is terrible.
But anyway, he according to a story that Eddie Murphy had told on, I think it was the Tonight Show. He was talking about him getting a phone call from
Eddie Murphy?
No, not
Come on, Ghost Intern, wake the fuck up.
Eddie Murphy got a phone call from Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby's like, you don't have to cuss so much. This is my best Bill Cosby impression.
That was
I
actually
can
pretty
do.
good.
Thanks. I don't have the Jello pudding.
Do it
pop
again.
with
Do it again.
Nope. Not
More.
gonna do it.
I want more. I want more.
But he's basically like, you don't have to cuss so much and make it funny, and like if you watch what I do and blah blah blah. And the one thing that Eddie Murphy had to say after that was, "Fuck you."
It seems like
It's
Eddie
totally
Murphy.
an Eddie Murphy thing to do, but
I
but
always kind of heard he's a kind of a pretentious asshole.
I don't care. He's hilarious.
Is he really?
I think he's hilarious.
He has his moments. I don't know. Some people just suffer on themselves. To me,
Did you see what is it? Dolomite Is My Name. I think that was his Netflix. I think it was a Netflix or maybe it was Amazon.
I don't watch a whole lot of stand. It was a stand-up, right?
No, actually, it was a movie about this 70s actor Dolomite. Was,
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
remember seeing the trailer for
yeah,
it.
yeah. Anyway, that was fun. It was fantastic. It was fun. It was action packed. It was faction.
Did we ever create an intro to my movie review?
No, we don't have one yet, but we will for the next podcast.
There might be movie or series review, whatever. Michael's mail review. Wait, no,
Michael's mail review.
no. That's where I would look over everybody's mail.
Oh,
Hey,
I thought we were
Stacy,
talking about Magic Mike.
You got a letter from Grandma. It's got a $20 bill. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Michael.
Her name was Stacy. All right.
Stacy's mom, though, I hear she's got it going on.
I
I want to add something about the movies, the streaming versus. Now, remember back in the 80s and probably 70s, but more the 80s and the 90s, whenever movies would be made available,
Yeah.
and they would go straight to video,
Yeah.
and how it was always shunned and looked down upon when they went straight to video.
Yep.
This is the equivalent of going straight to video, but now it's like, oh, we need to get that out streaming, straight to streaming.
Well, they can make their money that way.
They can make their money, but what I'm saying is like it's kind of funny when you look at it from back then, straight to video. The equivalent of that is straight to Netflix or straight to Amazon or straight to direct to the consumer.
Which there's something there.
There is something there.
I'm going to
just
say
took
this.
this long for it to like become a popular thing.
It
Actually
forced
be
their
more
hands,
popular.
or
Well,
they were
that's
going to go
true.
bankrupt if they didn't. Like it forced their hands to do something different, and I think the consumer is going to have a better experience because you can still have the movie theater.
You can still have the movie theater.
And here's the
experience.
thing: I miss the movie theaters to a certain degree of certain films. I hate going to a movie theater and watching a bomb of a film. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
And it's not the movie theater experience because they're just putting on the film. And
Right.
every one of them is not going to be amazing. Like they do really good trailers, like we do, and make our podcast sound really good. It's not.
And then once you listen to the podcast, a complete bomb.
But I think masks are going to play a role in it moving forward. Like I'm not really worried about getting the virus. I could care less. I'm still fairly young, where I don't think it would do anything to me. But you always go to like a movie they really hyped up for, and
There you go. You
that's
can have
it.
that.
Right behind you, somebody's in there coughing, or they're on their cell phones and all this stuff.
All that shit.
I don't miss that.
I don't miss that either.
But and I got to thinking about this. I'm like, okay, I'd go back and watch it with a mask on or whatever.
Sure.
I think moving forward, like when we're at work, like we're years from now when this is past us, I still see myself wearing a mask when I'm like sick. Like when I'll get like a sinus infection or something like that. You go to the doctor and they think it's one thing, like, oh, it turns out you actually have the flu.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't gotten the flu all year. One, I got my shot. One, I've been in my house the whole time. But I think there's something to be said for wearing a mask moving forward. When like, hey, I'm just not feeling good. I'm just going to put this on because I don't want to get anybody else sick in case I have something else.
I agree. I think that's going to change the whole. Hopefully, it changes the culture for the better. For people to be like, I don't want to give you my sickness. I'm still going to do what I do.
I don't know what this is
Because
like,
before COVID happened, you would see people like just pushing right through it, and they would be sick as a dog, and they would be like right in the cubicle next to you, just typing away, coughing up a storm, blowing their nose, spreading their shit all over the place, and they don't care.
Yeah,
Not to say that nobody that.
Well,
not to say that,
and you had expectations of being at work, and
Right,
if you're not really, really sick, you're supposed to be at work. Moving forward, I don't think that'll be the case anymore. But like,
But it gives.
I think I would take extra precautions for myself and
Sure.
for everybody else. So like, you know what? I think this is a sinus infection, but I'll just put this stupid thing on.
Yeah.
I don't care for the mask. I don't particularly like them, but
and there was.
look at the infectious rates that have gone down besides COVID, all because we're doing this.
Right, exactly. In
There's
fact,
something there.
I think the traditional flu has kind of started to see its demise. because of how many
Wow.
people are masking. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that, and I'm not saying it's going away perfectly or completely.
Damn Ghost Intern.
Wow.
You're an idiot. We don't need a
You're an
soundboard.
idiot.
But I don't. I think there's something to be said there. Let's go to Michael's movie review. Do we just make it up? You know what I'm reviewing this week?
What's that? Go ahead.
I'm reviewing I Care a Lot
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
about you, Tony.
Oh.
It's on. It was
I
actually,
thought we were going in a different
Netflix
direction.
I thought it was a Netflix original, but I don't believe it is because I think you can actually get it on Prime. You can rent it on Prime, and I believe Netflix actually bought it from the Sundance Film Festival that happens.
Okay.
So I don't think it was actually a Netflix original, but I know it's streaming on Netflix currently. I Care a Lot is a darker film that I watched on Netflix. It stars Rosamond Pike and Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage.
I like Peter.
We're going back to the Game of Thrones
Yeah.
thing. Okay,
well,
sure.
see,
I'm all
we
about
circled back to it now, y'all.
it. Finally.
It's a fictitious world
Fictitious?
fictitious that explores the underbelly of one of our most vulnerable populations, and more specifically, the elderly care facilities. They explore the thoughts behind making massive profits of people at the end of their lives.
There's your movie review music. How about that?
Oh my God.
Is this terrible or what?
This is yours? Did you make this?
Yeah, I made this.
Oh, good. I thought for a second it was going into Alanis Morissette's...
Oh, God.
It just kind of sounded like it in a second. I'm like...
No, I can hear you. I hear what you're saying there. It's not...
Did you...
Continue.
Yeah, please do.
This is your music.
This is mine. I like
mean,
it.
I guess. I don't know. I can give you something different.
Rosamund Pike, to her credit, does an amazing job playing her role as a head of a guardianship company. Basically, she takes people and basically gets guardianship over them, then their whole finances, their whole lives, and puts them into elderly care facilities or assisted living facilities and get kickbacks and money like that, and they milk them for basically the rest of the money that they have in their lives.
Interesting.
And
And what is this again?
I Care a Lot on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Netflix, yes. I Care a Lot.
Rosamund's character, Marley Grayson, takes you to many places in her character that sometimes make you hate her and sometimes you root for her a little, which is kind of ironic.
Did you write that?
Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant.
I'm
That's
actually reading
beautiful.
this.
It's poetry.
I actually put a little effort into something for once in my life.
You did.
It's done in the same
dare
deadpan
you.
delivery that Rosamund Pike is kind of known for from movies like Gone Girl or even the movie Doom, which I forgot she was in. It's just cold, emotionless, almost rangeless over her face. That really tells a story. This movie mainly revolves around her and the people working for her that find they're always looking for attachless people.
This music bed is terrible.
Attachless people with endless money supply that they could fully explore. Of course, the movie she finds one that the sweet old lady played by Diane Wiest.
Yes.
Who's wonderfully a character in this movie, by the way. They think they found a golden goose in her, that she has no family, just an endless supply of money, and they can't figure out why. So they have her doctor and this judge. Judge is kind of innocent in this. She doesn't really know what's going on. They take over her whole life. And, of course, as you would guess it, she is not no strings attached. She actually has a big problem. There's a reason why she didn't have a money trail and all those other things. And that kind of sets the whole movie in motion, and it starts off a dueling adversary-ship with her and Peter Dinklage character.
It almost reminds me of Better Call Saul.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
I don't really want to spoil the rest. I actually want people to watch this movie.
Well, then stop talking.
I'm going to just some other thoughts about it real quick. There's one part in the movie about 3/4 way through the movie. I thought it was kind of dragging for a while, and it kind of ruined it. Not ruined it, but it made me think about it.
Ruined?
Then I thought that there was one ending in particular that was going to really piss me off because I was kind of getting some Gone Girl vibes from it.
I thought you were going to say it was like the happy ending vibe from Wayne's World.
No, it was. I thought it was going to be like this happy ending, which nobody really wins ending.
Okay.
There's a couple twists at the end of the film, which makes it really interesting. to be honest, this is like one of the most complete Netflix films to date. I know they bought the rights.
I know
to
you
it.
were talking about that before, like how they just didn't have anything.
I didn't think
really
they had it. This is right up there. It's worth watching. I would encourage everybody to do it.
Yeah.
I would encourage everybody that what I got right and what I got wrong about this movie, please write us to it. Please yell at me, and I will review you yelling at me or tell me I'm right.
There is a better podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, nice plug, Tone.
That's what I get paid to do.
It actually, and this is what I touched on earlier about movies where they make you think about it.
Was it a good touch?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Yeah.
I got to thinking about, have you seen this film?
No, I have not.
Okay.
You told me about it. I have not yet watched it, and I'm sorry.
One job, I gave you homework, and you failed. And this is me doing your homework for you.
Well, exactly. That's where I inspire you to do my homework.
No, but like, it got me thinking about this could actually happen. Not this whole thing about them two fighting it out over this woman, but in the sense that our older population are exploited at the end of their lives, and that this it would be a real thing, that there's a whole industry based off of this.
Yeah.
And there's huge profit margins made of a really vulnerable population. And it made me feel disgusting. Like, as I was watching this movie, I'm like, I couldn't kind of concentrate on the movie. Sometimes I'm thinking about like people in assisted living facilities, and especially the whole coronavirus and how it swept through them. And I'm like, oh my God, like this. And this is not to say all the facilities are like this, or even
no, but just the stories.
A
that
minority
you hear about
of it could be like this.
Could be like that.
It could be absolutely disgusting like that, and it made me feel kind of gross. But it was really thought provoking, and that's what films to me are at their best.
That's what they should be, right? Yeah. Exactly.
And the object of the movie wasn't to make you think about that, but it happened in this case.
I'm sorry you thought about that.
Rosamond Pike's character has this like really short bob haircut. It was so iconic. Like, you should almost watch this film. Like, you'll see it right off the bat. I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I'm not really into style or fashion. I'm like, oh my God, everybody's gonna have this haircut soon, because it was a perfect bob.
You're talking about like the Rachel.
Yeah.
From, yeah. That hasn't really changed much.
Yeah.
People still go for the Rachel.
How many
years later was that? 30 years later? 20 years later?
Yeah, probably.
20,
it's probably almost 30. It's got to be almost 30.
I don't want to be that old yet.
Ghost Intern, where you at? Overall, I would watch this film.
You recommended it, so
I recommended it
one to watch.
Just to check it out. Like, it's not one I would skip. But yeah, it was a good time. I watched it and made me almost want to watch it again after a while. Like, not very many films can make me do that. I'm actually on the cusp of wanting to watch Bird Box again, just because it's been so long. Speaking of which, this week is the one
Do not watch Bird Box.
Why?
Wait, that was the one with Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah.
This has been Mike's movie reviews.
we need an intro and outro to that, don't we?
Probably.
Something a little bit more satisfying. It was fun.
I just got a buzz from eBay telling me that something I was looking at is going to end in 15 minutes.
Oh God, maybe we should end the podcast in 15 minutes.
Maybe we should just end the podcast right now. What do you think?
I think so too. Hey, don't forget to write us at thereisabetterpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on the gram. There's a better
gram. I like to call it IG just because.
Everybody else does. I thought we were unique in this podcast, but maybe I was wrong.
Nope.
Or you can find us on Twitter at There's a Better Podcast.
Yes, sir. Is that it?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, fuck it. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.